The Throne of Tides mini set has finally been announced. They've already teased 5 of the new cards. We're going to be looking at 2 of them today. The rest of the cards will be teased throughout the weekend up through Monday, and it will be available in the game on Wednesday, June 1st. Cards we're going to look at today is Neptune the Tidehunter. It's a new neutral Colossal minion. 10 mana, 7/7, summons 2 of his Neptune hands that each are 4/2s. They are immune while attacking, and Neptune himself has Rush and Wind Fury, and whenever he attacks, if any of the hands are alive, they will attack instead. So you drop this down for 10 mana. You go to make an attack. The way I assume it'll work is that if you have both hands, which you will on the turn you play it, one of them will attack, then the other one will attack. It could get you kill an 8/8 if you want, or maybe get through a Divine Shield and then kill a minion, and then you'd be able to do it again. So you could potentially kill 2 8/8s or maybe 2 minions with Divine Shield. A lot of people have been comparing it to this card right here, Raid Boss Onyxia from the last mini set that was released. And a lot of people, including myself, are saying that Onyxia is just a better card. It isn't as many stats, but it's also 10 mana. This does have synergy with dragons, whereas Neptune is an elemental and is only going to have elemental synergy. So a Raid Boss Onyxia fits in quite well with Kazakhstan decks. And all of the whelps that you summon, even though you do need the board space to summon them, being able to individually target the 6 attacks means that you can pop Divine Shields, you can kill more than 2 enemies, and Onyxia herself is immune while attacking, so it still can clear an 8/8 with it. It's just far more flexible, and it's on the same power level. So while it isn't quite as many stats, and you're probably not going to have quite as much left on the board, it is a better board clear in most situations. So it's a little bit tough to see what decks Neptune is actually going to go in. Having said that, if you have some way to mana cheat it, it might turn out to be pretty good. Control Warrior may want to use it. If Onyxia didn't exist, I imagine it would see quite a bit of play. It may still find a home, but we don't know what other synergies it could have because we've only seen 5 of the cards from the mini set so far. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next card. Azumat. A lot of people thought this was going to be a N'Zoth card. It's not, but this guy's still cool. He's an octopus, and he will fill your board up. He has +6 tentacles. It's only 8 mana. He is a beast. The tentacles are all 1 mana 1/3s, so they're pretty beefy. This is an enormous amount of stats for 8 mana, and a couple of classes do have a way to cheat it out. The main gimmick here is that if the head, Azumat himself, dies, you will destroy a random enemy minion for each of the tentacles that are still alive. Unfortunately, it doesn't have taunt, it doesn't draw you cards, it doesn't give you armor or anything like that. None of the creatures have rush, so it doesn't impact the board on the turn you play it. And so it does feel like it probably isn't going to see too much play just because it's just too expensive for a card that doesn't directly impact your ability to win. You put down a bunch of stats, but if you don't clear your opponent's board, they're just going to hit you in the face and kill you with it next turn. Having said that, I do see 2 potential decks this could go in that might be pretty good. Let's talk about the first one, which is the Big Hunter deck. Harpoon Gun can draw you Azumat since he is a beast and reduce the cost by 3, bringing it down to 5. So if you play Harpoon Gun on 3, you attack on 3, you attack on 4, you have 2 chances to dredge it up from the bottom of your deck and then be able to play it on turn 5, and that would be so many stats on turn 5 that it would actually be playable. Trouble is, it would actually have to be in the bottom 3 cards of your deck, which might not be super consistent, and you're already running a bunch of other beasts, so it might just be like a nice to have, like you throw it in the deck, you hope to get it, but if you don't, it's fine anyway. We'll have to see. The other possibility is with Druid. Living Seed is probably a card you forgot about because it isn't very good. It comes from Forged in the Baron. 2 mana, draw a beast, reduced its cost by 1. At rank 2, at 5 mana, it reduces the cost by 2. And at 10 mana, it will reduce the cost by 3. If you're playing a ramp druid and you have Azumat as the only beast in your deck, you can play this on turn 2. That will draw you Azumat and reduce the cost to 7. You play Wild Growth on 3. You play Nourish on turn 4. You play Azumat on turn 5. So it is another deck that can more consistently than Hunter be able to actually play it on turn 5. I think in a Ramp Druid you would realistically be able to play this pretty often on turn 5. Having said that, Big Hunter is just a better overall deck in general than Ramp Druid is right now. Will this be enough to help bolster the deck up? Probably not. You're really looking to try and shore up your survival by that time in Ramp Druid, getting a scale of Onyxia or something like that. But it is a possibility that it could go in either one of those decks. If you're playing the Celestial Alignment version, this is a nature spell. You play your Lady Anacondra. This is now 0 mana. You can use it to draw Azumat. If you've already played Celestial, then that would be reduced again. So instead of being 1 mana, it would be 0 mana. So you could play this for free if you had Lady Anacondra and Celestial Alignment. So I think it could be good in that deck. But again, that deck is not that great right now. So that's my review of these 2 new cards. I think they might be fringe playable, but overall the power level is not great. I'll be doing a full review of this set on Tuesday when all the cards are available.